Hey guys, thanks for checking us out. I know it's been a while since we last talked and we gave you any updates, but guess what? The girls are here. They are wonderful. They are now 3 months and I think 4 or 5 days at this point. Let's see. I'm not gonna do the math because I'm tired and it's late at night, but I just know that they are getting bigger and stronger every day. They were born they were born on February 20th of 2020. So my twin girls, the two of them, were born on 02 20 2020. I just love it. It's just amazing. I'm so happy. They have like the perfect birthday ever. So we're really excited. They did come early though. We were expecting to deliver maybe the end of March. They were due April 18th, so that means when they came in February, they were only 31 weeks. 31 weeks and I believe 5 or 6 days. So um, it was a shock. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you about today was just how their birth story and how that all went because it just caught us off guard. And it's a great story I wanted to share, especially for them when they get older. They can see this and hear all about their crazy birth story and how they became a part of our family. But yeah, so basically, they were born on a Thursday night. I was sick Wednesday. I came down with like some nasty stomach virus. I thought I was near death. It was terrible. And then I made it through the night. I called my midwife. I told them what I was feeling, and she was wonderful. She told me what to do and like just keep hydrated and just rest and just take care of myself. And if it got worse, to call and like they would maybe prescribe something at that point. But right now, just kind of like wait it out. So that was fine. I went to bed Wednesday night into Thursday. Thursday morning, Mike had to work. Wyatt had to go to school, and Izzy had to go to preschool. And I was really dreading it because normally Mike's the one who will, when I was like pregnant and I couldn't get up and do things, he was the one that would drive them to school or get them ready for the day. And that day, everything was on me. So I was really feeling the pressure of it. And I got up and I still wasn't feeling well from the day before. I was having a little bit of pelvic pressure. So, I figured one of the babies had dropped into place. And, which had happened before. It happened January 24th. Because it was Izzy's birthday party, I think. And we were having her birthday party, and one of them had dropped into place that day, and I was in a lot of pain that day. So it just felt very similar to something I had experienced before, and it went away. So I just knew I had to ride it out. So got Wyatt on the bus, got him out the door, got Izzy to school, came home, laid down. I still wasn't feeling great. I still was kind of out of it. Izzy's in preschool, so she's only in school for like a few hours. And I had to ask Mike when he came home to go pick her up. I just didn't have it in me to get up out of bed. I just couldn't. I was not feeling well. I was in so much pain, like pelvic pressure wise and back pain. I was just like, please, just go get Izzy for me. He said, not a problem. He happily went and got her, and he let me stay, and I fell asleep. And then around, I would say 12:30, he came in, and he just wanted to check on me and let me know that he was heading out for the day for his full-time job. And I told him how I was feeling, and he asked if he should stay home. And I told him, no, go to work. I said, once the girls are here, you're going to need that time off to be here to help out. So just head on into work. I'll call you if anything changes. So he went on his way. I went back to sleep. Around 1:30, I started having contractions. And it's like 1:30 in the afternoon. I started having contractions, so I woke up. I was tossing and turning, and I thought they were just Braxton Hicks. So I drank some more water. I just went back and lay down on my side. I did everything the midwife had told me and I had done in previous pregnancies when you were having Braxton Hicks, like to ease them. And I fell back asleep and I was still having Braxton Hicks and I was tossing and turning and tossing and turning. Then my mom came home from her work and called down to me and told me that, Wyatt comes home around like 4 o'clock from his school, like gets off the bus around 4. So she had to run an errand in a couple towns over from where we live, and she asked me to come back upstairs and help get Wyatt off the bus, because normally she would do that during the day when she came home, and I'd be resting when I got really pregnant and really couldn't just get out of bed and do things. So I hobbled upstairs, got on the couch, waited for Wyatt to come home. She and my grandmother left to go run her errand. I was on the phone with my sister, and I'm breathing through these terrible contractions, and I am fully convinced these are Braxton Hicks. And I'm talking to my sister, and she's like, "Are you sure you don't want to call your midwife?" And I was like, No. I just gotta ride this through. I just gotta wait for Wyatt to get home. It will be okay. Life will be good. Like, I just need to get through this. It will go away like it has in the past. Because at that point I had been having Braxton Hicks since January 10th. Actually the whole month of January pretty much. So for about 2 months then I was having Braxton Hicks. So I just figured it was another episode. And I went and I was on the phone with my sister and breathing through these contractions, and she was being so sweet and so kind. But she kept kind of saying, "I think you should call a midwife." And I kept trying to reassure her that I was totally fine. So finally, the contractions they were just getting uncomfortable, and I wasn't feeling well, and I still had the stomach virus thing going on. So I was still trying to take care of myself, and nothing was working. And Wyatt had come home, and I think he and Izzy knew something was going on, because I was on the couch and I'm there in pain on the couch on the phone with my midwife. I'm telling her, what's going on. She's asking me how far apart the contractions are, how long are they lasting. I had no idea. So she told me, call her back in 30 minutes and just time them. So I did. I tried to time them the best I could, and Wyatt and Izzy come, and they're like, "Mommy, can we have some candy?" And I'm like mid contractions here, and I'm like, whatever you want, go eat, go ahead, go enjoy your candy, go. Here, come to find out later, my 2 little ones, now my 2 big ones, decided to eat all their Halloween candy they had left over, Christmas candy they had left over, Valentine's Day candy they had left over, and any other candy that was in the house. There were apparently wrappers all over the floor when my husband got home. But anyway, so they ate their heart's content full of candy. I called back my midwife and told her, the contractions are like happening every so often, and they're only like lasting for like a minute or so. And she said, "Okay, well, let's get you into the hospital and just see what's going on." Because again, I had a scare January 10th, and that's when we decided that, I would go more on not on bed rest, but take it easier. We were able to stop those contractions. So I was under the impression that I was going to go into the hospital and get whatever medicine they gave me before back in January, and we were going to stop the contractions, and I was going to go home. So I said, "Sure, no problem. I can't go anywhere because I have the kids with me. I'm so uncomfortable. I can't drive like this." And I had to wait for my mom to come home and my grandmother to stay with the kids. So she said, "Not a problem. When you're, leaving, just give me a call." And their office is less than 5 minutes away from the hospital. So I didn't think anything of it. I was like, "Okay, cool. I'll meet you at the hospital. I'll see you. I'll call you when I'm on my way." I live less than 10 minutes away from the hospital. So everything's in close proximity. So I didn't really think of anything. But I was there still having these contractions, still very uncomfortable, and still not feeling well from the day before. So my mom came home and she asked how everything was going, and I was like, everything's going well. Wyatt's off the bus. They're downstairs, apparently eating candy. But they were downstairs watching TV and entertaining themselves. But I said, but I have to go to the hospital now. And she kind of got like panicked, which was really funny. She was like, where's my keys? Where's my keys? And I was like, it's okay. We're gonna go to the hospital. We'll be there. They'll check me out. They'll give me whatever they need to give me. And we'll be home in like 20 minutes. It's not that big of a deal. We'll just go and come back. It's fine. And she was like, no, I think you're having these babies. And I was like, please don't speak that into the universe. It's not happening. I am not having these babies. We're just going to go get this all stopped. They did it once. They'll do it again. That's what we'll do. So we're driving and I'm having these contractions. My mom is like doing that mom safety hold, like when you're in the front seat and like, you know, she has to slam on the brakes really quick and they throw their arm out around you and like they brace you. She was doing that the whole time. Every time I was having a contraction, she just would like put her arm out and hold me. And I was like, I don't need you to do that. I just need to get to the hospital and I need them to get this to stop. So I did all that. And I called the midwife, and that was around maybe 5:50. I called the midwife, and I said, you know, hey, we're on our way to the hospital. I called her on the way to the hospital. So, yeah, it was about 5:50, because when we got to the hospital, it was like 5:55. And my mom parked the car. She dropped me off at the door. I waited for her in the lobby. I went over to the elevator, still having contractions, still breathing through them, and I'm holding onto the wall by the elevator buttons, and I'm just breathing and like just trying to like process and like just go through this pain. And the guy at the front desk goes, excuse me, miss, are you sure you don't want like a wheelchair? And I'm like, no, I'm fine. I'll be fine. I just need to get up to labor and delivery. They're going to make this stop, and then I'll go home. Don't worry. I'm good. I don't need a wheelchair. My mom's like, are you sure? And I'm like, no. I'm good. I don't need a wheelchair. I'm doing great. So I go up in the elevator, and we get to labor and delivery, and like our labor and delivery in our hospital is like the world's longest hallway to get to triage. Like, I mean, it's long. It just goes on because, like, it's the NICU wing. So you have to go, like, through past the whole NICU wing to get to triage. And I'm there, and I'm, like, holding onto the wall, stopping for each contraction. My mom's like, you're going to have these babies. You're going to have these babies. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'll be home in 20 minutes. We just got to go and get this done. So I go in, and I get in there and I tell them, you know, my midwife is on her way. She told me to come in and get checked out. She should have called in already saying that I was on my way. They said, oh yeah, let's get you in. We're going to get you checked out. So they get me in. They're just about to put the monitor. The nurse comes in to put the monitors on me just to get the fetal heartbeats and see how the contractions are. And I go, I really have to go to the bathroom. I thought I was going to pee myself. I was like, I really have to go. And the nurse goes, do you think you're gonna poop too? And I was like, I don't know, maybe. Like, sure. And she's like, oh no, we are calling a doctor in here now. They're gonna examine you. We cannot wait for your midwife. We're gonna do this now. So she called in the on-call doctor, and she came in and she goes, okay, I'm just gonna do a real quick check, and then, you know, we'll get you on, you'll go to the bathroom, we'll get you on the monitors, and we'll wait until your midwife comes. So I was like, all right, cool. She did the check, and she goes, the head is right there. You're fully dilated. Don't push. I burst into tears. I couldn't believe it. Thank God I called Mike when the midwife had said to come in. And I told him that we were going to the hospital and maybe it was time for him to come home. Because he was on his way to the hospital at that point. My mom was with me. She's trying to just calm me down and encourage me, and I am just tearing up, and I'm going, it's too early, they're only 31 weeks, like, it's not time yet, I have a month yet before we were even thinking they might be here. So I was all disheveled, and I was really upset and really worked up, they kept telling me, don't push, whatever you do, don't push, we have to get you into an OR. Because in that hospital, I don't know how it is around the country, but in our hospital, if you're having twins, whether you're giving birth to them naturally or you're having them via C-section, you always deliver in the OR just in case something happens and they need to switch over to a C-section or emergency C-section. So I always knew I was going to deliver in an OR, so that was fine. So they wheeled me into the OR, and they told me to push. This is my third pregnancy. These are my third and fourth babies. I had my other two babies naturally. You would think I would know how to push. I literally remember screaming out to the doctor saying, I don't know how to push. I don't remember. I can't do this. And she's like, no, you've done this before. You can do this. And I was like, no, you don't understand. I don't remember how to do this. Like, no, I don't know how to push. What do you mean push? Like, I don't know what you're talking about. And sure enough, my mom was there with me. My midwife had made it. She was there delivering. And she goes, Kendra, you got this. Just push. Just push. I think 2 pushes in, and Danica was born at 6:10. So about 15 to 20 minutes of being at the hospital, Danny was born. So literally a minute could have changed everything. And then I went to go and deliver Quinlan, and she was not budging. She was breached. They had an ultrasound on me. They tried to manually turn her. They did everything they could to deliver her too. And nothing was working. So they decided to, she was just stuck. Whatever position she was just really stuck. And they could have forced it and delivered her, but they decided to do an emergency C-section. So they prepped me for a C-section. At this point, I didn't realize that Mike was actually at the hospital, but because they were going into surgery, they couldn't switch him and my mom out. So my mom stayed with me for both births, but Mike was at the hospital in time for Quinlan's birth. He just wasn't able to come in and be there next to me when she was born. So so they did the emergency C-section, and I gotta say, now I have both my other two, I have 3 children, all naturally, no meds, no nothing. When they gave me that spinal tap or epidural, whatever they give you so you can have a C-section, that was like the most amazing thing I've ever felt. I didn't feel my legs, I didn't feel my pain, like everything just kind of went away, and I was just comfy, and it was just like nice. I was like, I can do this. We can have babies all day like this. So we're going into the C-section, and you know, my mom's there, and they're doing everything, and they pull her out, and she's not crying. And then I never hear her cry, so I'm like, is everything okay? My midwife comes over to me, and she goes, Kendra, everything's fine with the baby. She's breathing, she's healthy. The NICU team's working with her. At this point, I had seen Danny, and I heard her like kind of screech out for a second, like, ah! And then that was it. Danny had already been wheeled down to the NICU, so they were working on Quinlan, and she said everything's fine, but when Quinn was born, there was a huge knot in her umbilical cord. And I was like, is she okay? And they said, yes, she's okay. And I said, was it wrapped around her neck too? And they said, yes, that's why she wouldn't come out. They said, had I had to push, or she had been delivered naturally, she probably would not have made it, because it was wrapped so tightly around her neck and the cord was so tight. If I had stayed pregnant for another few weeks, the cord would have gotten too tight and she would have lost her supply. So we probably would have lost her had I been pregnant for a few more weeks or had I pushed. So in a lot of ways, I am very thankful that they did come early, even though they caught me off guard. They are healthy, they are happy. They wheeled me into recovery. I stayed in recovery for a few hours, and then they wheeled me down to the NICU, and I got to hold my tiny little babies. Danica was 3 pounds, 13 ounces, and Quinlan was 3 pounds, 15 ounces. Oh, Mike's saying that's wrong. Danica was 3 pounds, 14 ounces, and Quinlan was 3 pounds, 15 ounces. And they were like just slightly bigger than my hand, and they just they had their apparatuses on, their CPAP machines on, so they were getting oxygen, but they were so beautiful, and I loved them so much, and I just wanted to be with them. So the NICU that we were at in our hospital was full. They couldn't take any more babies. So they had to send them down to Pennsylvania Hospital down in the city, and I wanted to be transferred there so I could still like pump and be there for them and see them. So we went through a really big ordeal trying to get me down there after the girls got transferred down there. So we were separated for a little bit after they were born, probably less than 24 hours. And so I had only gotten a quick glimpse at them when I saw them in the NICU the night they were, or the morning after they were born, I guess. And then they were transferred down to the other hospital in the city. So, I had to fight a little bit to get down there. But once I got down there, it was great. And life was wonderful. They were in the NICU. They were doing really fine. They got weaned off onto cannulas, and then they were onto room air within like a week, 2 weeks. They were looking great. They just needed to learn how to start eating, and that was something that was a skill set they would only develop over time because they were preemies. So that's what we were waiting on. We were just basically waiting for them to learn to eat. But at the same time, we were trying to get them transferred back to the hospital they were born in so they'd be closer to home. So that was like a whole nother ordeal. And then, lo and behold, 2 weeks after their birth, we get the call, we're going to get them back to the hospital. We get them back up to the hospital near our house. It's only 10 minutes away rather than like over an hour drive. And we're there. It's wonderful. They have their own rooms. If we want to stay the night, we can. And I was able to visit as much as I wanted to. I was able to, be very active in their care in a way that I was limited when they were down in the city because it was such a far drive. I couldn't go every day. So we were enjoying the fact that they were closer to home, and we were looking forward to them being home soon because we were just working on eating. I just started trying to nurse them. They just started figuring it out, and we were right at the beginning of when COVID started having we started having lockdowns because of COVID, and it really started becoming a threat. And that first week that they were in the NICU at our hospital, I saw them all week. I enjoyed every moment of it. Friday I went in. I made an appointment to see the lactation consultant so I could get some help on getting them to latch and stuff. And then Friday night we got the call from a NICU nurse saying we weren't allowed to come back. The hospital had been locked down due to COVID, and they weren't allowing any visitors, including NICU parents. And my world just shattered. And we didn't know at the time how long we'd be separated from the girls because, again, they were so close. They were doing so well. The only thing that they were struggling with at that point was just eating on their own. And we thought any day, they'll be home any day. Maybe we'll just have to go through this for the next few days and they'll be home by next week. And then that week came and went. And then the next week came and went. And it went on for 5 weeks. I thought they would be home for their first Easter. I was planning their christening for Easter. And everything at that point had been locked down. And, no one was going to be able to go out. So we canceled the baptism. But I swore the girls would be home by Easter. And they weren't. They were still in the NICU, still struggling to manage to eat full bottles on their own without the feeding tube. So it was hard. That was one of the toughest things, and I've been through a lot. You guys have been with me through some of the things I've been through, and that was a really rough time because I was separated from them. It wasn't a normal birth experience. Like giving birth in the OR and then just being whisked away the way they were, and then being whisked away to the other hospital, and then being discharged and going home without them, and then being in the NICU while I'm at home, and then being locked down in the NICU and I can't even go see them and I can't be near them. It was a rough road. But they came out on April 17th, and it was such a blessing. They came home that Friday night. Saturday we started getting adjusted. Monday was their 2-month birthday. And they celebrated by going to the pediatrician, and they were doing well, and all the things that we were worried about in the hospital and the NICU about them eating and stuff was slowly going away, and they were doing really, really well. So they were eating great, they were nursing great, and they've been home ever since. Now we're over the 3-month mark, and they are just growing and doing so well. Quinn is over 9 pounds, and she's the youngest. Danny is almost 8.5 pounds. And they're just awesome. Like, it's been really cool watching them just grow and get bigger, and their little faces changing. And it's so funny, on Facebook I was putting up pictures like every day, pictures that the nurses would send me, and like filling up their little Facebook album with all their pictures and stuff. And since they've been home, I don't know if anyone's really seen any pictures of them. I would show you them now, but they're sleeping. But don't worry, we'll have other videos where you get to see them and the kids interacting. But yeah, I just wanted to share my birth story with you guys because I thought it was a pretty interesting story. And, we're just thankful that the girls are home now, that everyone is happy and healthy. And, our little family of 4 is now family of 6. And we're doing really well adjusting. I thought it was going to be so much harder than it actually is. It's just we're just tired because we're getting up in the night. But other than that, we're balancing pretty well between all 4 kids. And the older kids are very helpful, and they love their sisters. So, like I said, I just wanted to update all of you because you guys were there from when we were trying to get pregnant, and then, going through the frozen embryo transfer, and then finding out we were pregnant, then finding out we were having twins, and then it kind of went dead for a little bit there because I was having a rough pregnancy. So I'm glad that we are back. We hope to be bringing you more content. If you have any questions, let us know. I would love to do a Q&A. It could be about the girls, it could be about the older kids, it could be about Disney. Whatever. We're really open books at this point, I feel like. But we just like that you guys are joining us on our journey, and I am so thankful that you're willing to sit here and listen to me talk and share these stories and share our life with you. Well, I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful evening, and thank you so much, and take care.